This is an interview as part of the conducting workplace investigation training scenario. This is an interview with a witness, George Parkinson.
Hi, George. Thank you for coming along today and participating in the interview.
Yeah, look, no problem at all. No problem at all. However I can help you.
I might just start with a bit of background if I can. So what's your role at ABCDE?
Okay, I'm the warehouse manager, so I look after everything in the warehouse, and I'm also the fleet manager, so I look after all the vehicles.
Right. And how long have you been with the company?
12 years since the place opened.
Wow. So tell me, what's the company like to work for?
Well, I think it's a really good place to work. Like, I only live around the corner. So I happened to be walking past here on my way to the train station one day, and I saw the sign on the door looking for a warehouse manager. I thought, oh, yeah, well, that's what I do. So I actually knocked on the door, and I met Helen, and she was a manager, and had a good long chat to Helen. And lo and behold, about a week later, she rang me up and said, George, we'd like to offer you the job. So Helen's been here, well, since I started, but now she's gone off on maternity leave. She's had a baby. I think it's a second or a third. Oh, I don't know, whatever. But anyway, yeah, it was really, when Helen was here, it was really good. Like, Helen used to come down to the warehouse every day and, see if we needed anything. G'day, fellas, do you need anything? Invite us up for morning tea and have birthday celebrations and all sorts of stuff. So really, really, really friendly, very nice place. But then when Helen went on maternity leave, everything changed. Like, this new character, Michael Davies, took over. And since then, no, it's completely changed. Like, he's cut out the morning teas. He's cut out the birthday celebrations. He never comes down the warehouse except to walk through. He parks that piece of crap car of his out the front, which is kind of, it's in the van bay. It's annoying, but anyway, what can you do? He's the boss. He should walk all the way around, but I don't think he'd walk out of sight on a dark night. But anyway, and he walks through in the morning, never says hello, never says anything, never says a word. Like the boys, and when I say the boys, I'm talking about Mike, my offsider, and Shane, young Shane. We all said hello to him at the start, but kind of just ignored us. So Shano still says hello. I think it's only for a joke. He says hello and stuff, but we get ignored. In the afternoon, and look, I can understand it. Often in the morning, we're busy. So, things are happening. But in the afternoon, pretty regularly, he goes home at about 4 o'clock, and I'm at my bench because I'm doing all the paperwork, and he just walks straight past. Never even acknowledges, never had a conversation with a bloke. Sometimes he's on his phone like that. Sometimes he's tapping away on the phone, like the way they do. So, yeah, the culture completely changed since he's been here. So the sooner he goes, the better, as far as I'm concerned. Sorry about that.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Thank you for sharing. There was just a few things in there that I'd like to expand a bit further on, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
You mentioned that Helen is currently on a parental leave. She's away having a baby, so she's on parental leave.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
How long has Michael been here now?
6 months. 6 months, I reckon. What are we in now? 6 months. Yep.
Okay, and is that 6 months a part of a 12-month contract? Are you aware, or you don't know?
I think so. That's what we were told. Yeah, 6 months part of a 12. Yeah.
Okay, and you also talked about the way Michael interacted with you, the way he communicated with you, or the lack thereof, as you mentioned. Have you noticed the way Michael interacts or communicates with anyone else in the company?
Same with the boys. Mike Redmond. He's my offsider. I don't think. Well, I've never had a proper conversation with Davies. I don't think Mike has either. Same with Shane. And from what I hear, and I'm only going on what I hear, the people up in the office, it's exactly the same.
Right. Okay. So the people up in the office, can you help me out with who that is? I do have an org chart here.
Jane Langley. She's in charge of advertising.
Marie. Would that also be marketing?
Sorry?
Would that also include marketing?
Oh, I suppose that's what they call it. That's what they call it.
Okay,
There's Marie Kelly. She's like the office manager. And there's Sarah, young Sarah. She works with Jane. And then you've got Michelle. She's in the pay office, but she only works like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I think. Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe. And that's pretty well it in the office. And then you've got Nicole. She's a sales rep, and you've got Alice. She's the other sales rep.
Right. Okay. So how do you get along with the people upstairs in the office
Oh,
staff and the sales reps? How do you get along with them?
yeah, good, good. I mean, Jane's been here a long time. I couldn't tell you how long, but she's been here a while. So we're quite good. We're friendly. Same with Marie. The sales reps. That's a funny thing, because they used to come in a lot. Especially, they'd come in for morning tea. They come in for coffees and that sort of stuff. We don't see as much of them anymore. They seem to be in and out pretty quick. Like they'll come in, they'll grab what we need. And as you can see behind me, we've got all the bays. I don't know whether you can really make it out but if you look on my, just behind there, that's where a lot of their marketing materials are kept. So we gave them some bays for their stuff. So, the sales reps come in and grab stuff. Marie comes down now and then. Marie's pretty busy, so like Helen used to come down all the time and grab all our invoices and our sales stuff not sales stuff, delivery stuff. Yeah.
Mhm.
But nowadays I send Shane up in the afternoon. But Nicole and Alice come in and grab stuff, samples and stuff. And Jane and Sarah come down to grab like brochures and pamphlets and all that sort of stuff.
Right. And how about Sarah Taylor? How would you describe your relationship with Sarah Taylor? What's Sarah Taylor?
I don't really know her all that well. She's very polite. Like she comes down, so excuse me, Mr. Parkinson, can I have? And I'll say it's George, but anyway, yeah, she seems like a nice kid. Seems like a nice kid.
Right. The reason I ask is that the purpose of me being here today is to find out some more about the interactions or some possible interactions that may have occurred between Michael Davis and Sarah Taylor. Do you know anything at all about the relationship between Sarah and Mr. Davies?
Only what I've been told. Only what I've been told. And Jane told me last Wednesday. Yeah, Jane told me last Wednesday that Michael had been asking her out for drinks and like to go on a date or something.
Sorry, Michael had been asking Sarah or Jane?
Michael had been asking Sarah. Yeah, that's right. So Jane came down and she told me that, and I said, "Oh dear, what are you going to do about that?" She said, she didn't know, but she wanted to go and talk to him. And I sort of said, "Oh, want me to come with you? Bit of muscle." Anyway, so I went with her upstairs. And she sort of was in his doorway sort of thing, and I was standing behind her. And it looked like when he sort of beckoned us to come in, and Jane said something about Sarah. I mean, she's in front of me, so I couldn't tell you exactly what she said. But then he put his hand up and then kind of did that as if when she said the word Sarah, he changed. Like he did have his phone, in his ear, and he was tapping on the computer, but it almost like he went from come in to get out in the time it said to take, in time it took her to say Sarah. So we went out and I said, "Oh, well, you tried. Maybe you should, I don't know, if you think there's a problem, give head office a call." And then of course, didn't hear any more that day. And then of course there was the big blow up on Thursday.
Right, I was going to ask you about that next. Just before I do that, though, you said that Michael made a gesture like this to you and then something like that?
Yeah, like stop.
Okay, I was just going to ask you, what did you take that to mean? Stop and go away?
Yeah, That's what we took it to mean, because we stopped and we went away.
No. I'm interested in what your interpretation of the gesture was.
That's what I thought it was. Yeah, absolutely. Stop, go away.
Thank you. Yep. Okay, so the incident that happened last Thursday, do you want to tell me some more about that or what you know about that?
Okay, so I was down in the warehouse and we just had a delivery, and I don't know what Mike was doing, probably putting the forklift away. The next thing, I hear some yelling. And I could hear Marie. I could definitely hear Marie because I can tell Marie's voice. And she was yelling, and Davies was yelling too, because he's the only bloke up there. Anyway, so they are yelling at each other, and I don't know what they were yelling about. Well, I didn't know at that stage. At that stage, I didn't know what they were yelling about. So anyway, so this is going on. We're going, hello. And then Nicole has called me, and she said something about her car playing up or something, needs a service or something. So I went outside with Nicole, and I just got the speedo number so I could ring up the service place. And I'm just walking back in. I hear this crashing noise, and I'm about to walk in. And I'd said to Nicole, look, I'll book it in for next Tuesday. But then she go, hey, George, can you book it in for Wednesday? So I've sort of turned around and, oh, yeah, no worries. Anyway, so I went inside and the big blue recycling bin. And I'll show you where it is if you want to come downstairs, right? So the big blue recycling bin, that's on its side. And, there's recycling all over the floor. And I said, well, let's go. Oh, what happened here? What happened here? And Mike is sort of standing on the edge of the bay, and he's almost kind of laughing. He's gone, ask Shane. And Shane's told me, and he said what Shane said, and I've talked to him about this before. He said, oh, idiot features knocked the bin over. I said, hey, hello, hang on. Who are you talking about? He said, Davies. I said, well, I've talked, you shouldn't call him that. I said, what did he do that for? He said, I don't know. He was angry. And I looked, and he said to me, George, it was in the right place, because the reason why it was moved, it sits on a pallet, right? And I asked Shane to sweep all the way behind the benches. So to do that, he has to move the pallet. And a few weeks ago, he pulled it straight across, because it sits virtually just at the bottom of the stairs, just to the left of the stairs. And he pulled it across in front of the stairs. I said, no, Shane, you can't leave it there, mate, because someone will trip over it. So what he did was, and he's not the sharpest tool in the shed, but anyway, he put a big X on the floor with spray paint, mind you. Anyway, and it's about 8 feet from the bottom of the step. So he said, is it okay for me to put the pallet there? I said, okay. I said, all right, yeah, okay, good idea. And he pointed to it, and the pallet was definitely where he put his X, so it was about 8 feet from the bottom. Anyway, so Mike, and I looked at Mike, and Mike sort of went, mate, I don't know. But I said, do you see it? He said, no, mate. He said, I saw Davies walking up the stairs, but I only saw the back of him. I didn't see what happened. Anyway, so we're all sort of standing around scratching our heads. And next thing, there's more yelling upstairs. And it's Marie and it's Davies. Now, once again, I can't tell you what they were yelling about, because, we're downstairs, we got fans on, and, I think there was a van sitting in the driveway with its motor running. So, it's a bit noisy, but we could still hear yelling. And later on, Jane came downstairs, and I said to Jane, what on earth was going on? And she said, oh, Michael was yelling at Sarah. I think she even said about my marketing report or something. I don't know what. And she said that's what sparked it off. And then Marie was yelling and he was yelling. And, oh, right, okay, well, there you go. That's been an interesting day, I suppose. And that was it. I didn't hear any more.
Okay. Just a couple of things there. You mentioned that Shane referred to Michael as idiot features or something.
Yeah, idiot features or something like that.
Idiot features, yeah. Is it common for the boys in the warehouse to talk about Michael?
No, well, Shane has said it a few times, and I've said, Shane, oh, you can't do that. Not Mike. I mean, it's because, we used to say hello to him when he'd arrive, just ignore us. So okay. I think Shane, he still does it, and I think he only does it to try and get a rise out of him. G'day, boss. Sometimes he looks at him. Anyway, I know it's disrespectful, and I know he shouldn't be saying that, and I've spoken to him a couple of times.
No. It goes to the culture in the organisation. It goes to relationships. I'm just curious as to, that it's that a regular thing or not. The yelling that you talked about. The first round of yelling that you said you noticed you heard, you said it was Marie and Michael that you were yelling at each other? I
believe so, yes.
I don't want to assume to know how loud they were yelling or anything, so I'm going to use a scale if that's okay. If you and I are talking at, say, a level 4 out of 10, with 1 being a whisper and 10 being absolutely screaming at each other as loud as we possibly can, if we're talking at about a level 4, what would you say Marie and Michael were speaking to each other?
It could be like a 9, because, like I said, we're downstairs. There's fans going. There's a van going. I think for us to be able to hear like voices, I reckon a 9 at least. maybe 10.
Okay. And would that be the same as the second time you said you
Yeah.
heard yelling coming from upstairs?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, no problem. You mentioned also, or you discussed the Wednesday morning incident that you'd gone in with Jane to talk to Michael in his office, and you said that that was because Jane had come to you and told you about the conversation she'd had with Sarah about Michael asking Sarah out for drinks.
That's correct. Yes.
Are you aware personally of anyone else in the organisation that Michael may have asked out for drinks or out in another?
No, no, no. The only other thing I guess I kind of witnessed was we had a meeting down here, right? And it was after we did a refurb because of we're getting all like these hybrid parts, so we had to change the warehouse around a fair bit.
Right.
And we had a meeting one night, and so there was me, there was Jane, there was Michael Davies, and Alice Plummer. That's right, Alice Plummer, because she's the sales rep in charge of the hybrid stuff. So anyway, we'd gone late, so we ordered some Chinese from Keep for the place around the corner, KP Chinese or something, whatever it is. So look, if you're here at lunchtime, go down there, go and see him at lunchtime. Tell him George sent you, and get a nice like sweet and sour pork and rice for lunchtime special. Very, very nice. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting off track here. Anyway, so we ordered Chinese, and we finished the meeting. And Jane took off straight away. She had to go. Whatever. She had to go. And Alice, we got a little kitchen, like a little kitchen type thing in the warehouse, and she went down into the kitchen and put the dishes in the dishwasher, I guess. Now, I couldn't see in the kitchen, and I was packing stuff away. But then next thing I heard Alice give him a gobful. And she might have told him to bugger off or something, and don't speak to me like that or something like that. It was pretty loud enough for me to hear.
Right.
But I don't exactly know 100% what she said, because I wasn't listening for a conversation. I saw him go in the kitchen, and it's pretty small, so two people would be pretty squashy in there. Anyway, then she came out, and she just sort of walked past me. I said, "Oh, mate, are you all right?" Because it sounded like she was pretty angry. And she said, yeah, no worries. And she left. And I returned to packing some stuff up, and next thing he'd gone. And she never mentioned anything about it. And I think that would have been maybe a month, maybe 6 weeks ago. So I didn't really find out what was said or what was done. But it was almost like, wham, bam, get away from me. Or don't speak to me like that, or something like that. I'm pretty sure she said bugger off, but I can't guarantee that.
Okay. All right. I might follow that up with Alice when I'm
talking to her. Yeah, good idea. Speak to Alice.
Okay. Look, is there anything else, George, that you might want to tell me about, anything to do with the culture of the organisation, the relationships between people in the organisation, anything else at all that you want to tell me?
Look, I'll be honest with you. As far as culture goes, I'm not really into all that sort of stuff. But like I said, it used to be a pretty happy place. People used to get along. And I mean, everybody else gets along except for him. He's really changed things. So I think, he's wrong for this place. I think, I think the company need to get rid of him. And if you can help that along the way, well and good. But yeah, like I said, I don't know what he's like as a person, because I've never had a conversation with him. I've never, like, on the first, might be the first day, Helen brought him around to show him, and she said, "Oh, this is George Parkinson. He's in charge of the warehouse." He kind of said, he seemed to be more interested on his phone, and that's the only time he's actually come into the warehouse other than to walk through it. Like I said, he doesn't come down. He doesn't pick up anything. He doesn't come and see whether we're okay. We don't have meetings as far as like meetings to, Okay. I've seen him, I've seen the sales reps down here and pointing to things with him, but he, like I said, doesn't seem to be overly interested. So, I mean, as soon as Helen gets back, it would be great. Or if he has to go before then, that'd be even better. So that's all I can say.
All right, well, George, thank you so much for your time today. I'll just remind you again about the confidentiality we spoke about at the beginning, just not to discuss anything we talked about today with anybody else in the company. Nothing mentioned on social media or anything like that. Yeah, and if you have anything else or you think of anything else that you think I might need to know, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for your time today, and enjoy the rest of your day. Listen, don't forget lunch. Go and see PK down the Chinese restaurant.
All right, thank you so much, George.
Thanks. So that was the interview with George Parkinson, a witness in the investigation matter.